you because, this past weekend we saw Anthony Joshua, the heavyweight champion, go down into defeat to Usyk. Did you watch that fight, by the way?
I saw highlights
Okay.
because I was training,
Yeah, exactly.
sparring.
Yeah. I think that's the point I wanted to get to is that it's hard to stay on top. I mean, you're pound for pound king right now.
It's
and
really hard.
Yeah, talk
You
about
can
that.
you can getting in the top, but stay in the top is really hard. You need to be disciplined and smart, and obviously you need to have talent to stay.
How do you do it? I mean, when you talk about showing up for gym day in, day out, is it any problem for you mentally, psychologically, to get yourself up for each workout day after day? Andy Ruiz, heavyweight champion of the world. Hey, what did you think of your good friend Anthony Joshua going down in defeat again?
You know what?
Very surprisingly,
It
right?
was surprisingly because when I did an interview with ESPN, I told him that I thought Anthony was going to be the stronger man. I thought he was going to box him around, use his abilities, but I kind of just stayed there. Like, I don't know, he wasn't moving around. He wasn't doing the same thing. Like in the second fight with me, he ran around. He made sure he didn't get hit, and if he did, he would grab and he would move around. So he had a strategy, but for this fight, I don't know, it didn't go his way.
A lot of people are now sort of pointing a lot of fingers at his trainer, Rob McCracken. I mean, do you look at that situation and say, like, how could you guys not be prepared for this complicated left-hander that you're going to be dealing with in Usyk?
I don't know, you can't blame everybody, every fighter has to take responsibility of themselves, and I think it was probably the wrong strategy, and he probably underestimated him, kind of like how I did with Chris Arreola, and things, we both got caught, but thank God I pursued and got the W, but I think Anthony Joshua is still there. He's still strong, but he kind of felt like if he was scared and holding back a little bit. Maybe it was the lefty of Usyk, of his style, of how he moves. But they were both throwing 1, 2 punches, 3 punches. I thought they could have done better. But congratulations to Usyk.
What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So we just heard there from your mans, Canelo, Alvarez, and Andy.
Oh, must be my movement.
Andy Ruiz. So, what can I say? Well, you know what? I'll start off by saying this. I really do. I know I said it last time, but I really do rate Alvarez because his English, his English is A2, yeah? Not far from being A1 right now. I'm telling you, his popularity is going to explode with the English, in my opinion, because as a primarily or only English speaking fan, that was really the only thing that used to put me off. I know it's ignorant, but either way, fact of the matter is, most people, I believe, are ignorant. Yeah, we want to hear it in our own language. Bottom line, and that's always been a bit of a barrier, if that makes sense. Alvarez has come across as a bit obscure because I'm not sure what's going on when he has, for all these years, really. Yeah, the translator translates, but it turns a lot of standard casual boxing fans off. And don't get me wrong, Alvarez is already massive, but this is going to be the step above. Anyway, now, the interviewer asked Alvarez his opinion on the AJ fight, and unfortunately, the interviewer came across a bit like a virgin, if that makes sense. A virgin interviewer, in as much as he didn't let Alvarez speak. Alvarez said that, yeah, I saw the fight, I only watched highlights because I'm training, at which point the Virgin Don jumped in and changed the subject. You were supposed to ask him about the fight, what his opinion of it was. Instead, he jumped in and, oh, yeah, you're training, tell me about your training. Well, what about the AJ fight? You nervous looking ass, nervous virgin looking ass. What's the point of doing an interview? And that's one thing I don't like about interviewers, yeah? Why have an interview and then be all in the video, all changing the questions? Relax and let my man answer the question. Anyway, so really, we didn't really get to hear much from Alvarez about his real thoughts on AJ. Now, he said things like, well, you need to stay dedicated, you need to stay in the gym and all that kind of stuff, but that's not specific. I'm hoping someone else, not some goofy fight hype dude, can really dig in deep. Maybe Ellie. Maybe Ellie Suckback. Ellie Suckback is good. Yeah, he loves sucking. Ellie Suckback would be a great guy to go in there and just suck some more. Try and suck the answer out of Alvarez. Yeah, you best believe. If anyone can suck the answer out of Alvarez, it'll be your man Ellie Suckback. But anyway, my hope would be from Alvarez would be to offer AJ some schooling advice. Yeah, AJ right now needs some schooling advice, because we know for a fact AJ looks up to Alvarez in as much as he said before, I want to fight back in December, yeah? He said he wants to, if and when he fights Fury, he wants to fight him similar to how Alvarez fights. Cut the ring off, chin down, elbows in, high guard, parry shots coming in, cat shots coming in, and put big combinations together. Big 1-2 punch combinations together. That's what he wants to be doing. So I'm hoping Alvarez gives AJ an insight on what it takes to be that kind of fighter. Because at the moment, AJ's lost his way. And to be fair, Alvarez does give us somewhat of an insight. He talks about how much he loves the game, how much he loves his sport. And one thing we do know about Alvarez is, that's a fact, he loves the sport. You can see it in the way he fights. He was in there the other day and someone was trying to punch him and he was doing all the slipping and sliding. You could tell he was enjoying it. He enjoys pulling new moves. I mean, just look at the videos of Alvarez in there teaching Ryan Garcia things. He loves the sport, bottom line. I don't get that feeling from AJ. Yeah, he stays talking. Yeah, he stays training, but you don't see that level of finesse or the finer details. AJ believes higher level boxing means running around, disengaging. Whereas Alvarez has really embraced the higher IQ stuff. He went in there with Floyd. He took some of the best bits of Floyd, the high level bits of Floyd, and has applied them. We haven't seen that level of dedication from AJ, although it might not be dedication. It might be more to do with the fact that Alvarez has a good team around him that's able to pass on that knowledge. If your team ain't got a clue what they're doing, like AJ's don't, how are you meant to learn the finer IQ points? That said, end of the day, Alvarez is just as rich as AJ, meaning that you can bring a new team in. You're a big hardback man. You're not 15 years old, where you got parents making decisions for you. So what you doing? Because you ain't making no gains at the moment, AJ. You're looking sloppy and looking silly, getting punched up. Because for me, yeah, yes, don't get me wrong. There's no doubt that Usyk is much better than Billy Joe Saunders, but they're same kind of cats. Yeah, we saw what Alvarez did to Billy Ho. Tromped on him and spat him out. That's what should have happened. Difference is, AJ ain't got nowhere near the skill or the hunger that Alvarez has. Bottom line, Alvarez went in there, he was sure of his job. Bottom line, he went in there on his job and executed his game plan perfectly. He was hungry to ride Billy from behind. Yeah, he was hungry to see what Billy Ho had been eating last week and push it in for him. Yeah, 100%. Alvarez couldn't wait to push Billy Ho Saunders' dinner in from last week back in for him. No doubt. Anyway, let's move on now to Andy Majin Buu Ruiz.
Oh, must be my moment.
That goofy dude. So obviously, if you haven't been able to tell, Andy Majin Buu Ruiz has had his teeth done. Nice and... He's got his gnashers done, nice and white. So, that's always good. It's always good to know that Andy Ruiz has gone a little bit more Hollywood every day. Yeah, you best believe. Of all the dons to go Hollywood, your man Andy Majin Buu Ruiz, he number one Hollywood. Yeah, he gone all the way Hollywood. No doubt. I've seen, despite having no fame, I've seen Andy Ruiz on TMZ more than I have seen Alvarez. That tells you all you need to know. He a Hollywood wannabe looking ass. Anyway, Mr. Hollywood, Mr. Andy wannabe Hollywood Ruiz. He spoke about the AJ fight, and I feel sorry for Andy Ruiz. a bit like I feel sorry for Dillian White, because these guys, they both got beat by AJ, and every time AJ loses to someone else, it makes them look bad. Do you understand? They think, wow. The more people they lose to, the more badly it reflects on them, or the more rubbish Andy Ruiz's win looks like. Does that make sense? Andy Ruiz only looks good when he was the only one to beat AJ. Now everyone beating AJ. Now cruiserweights are beating AJ. How good really was that win? Well, there you go. And that's why Andy Ruiz is frustrated. He's saying, oh, I expected more, etc., etc. But Andy Ruiz actually comes at it from a different perspective. He says he expected AJ to do more running around, because he observed AJ standing at mid-range a lot more, which is true. AJ didn't move his feet as much in this fight, and that's what worries me from an AJ fan point of view, because I believe, much like Andy Ruiz said, I expected AJ to move around some more, like he did in my second fight. And I hate to break it to you, any AJ fans out there, I believe that's what they're going to do. I believe they're going to think, oh, well, look at the Andy Ruiz rematch. That went well and we won every round. Let's go in there and do that. Not knowing that Usyk can play that game all day. This isn't Andy Ruiz, a 300-pound man with slow, plodding feet. Usyk has quicker feet than you. He's much more skilled at this game. If you play this game, you're going to lose. And that's what I believe Team AJ are going to do, honestly. So I'm glad in a way that Ruiz has brought this up, because, wow. If Ruiz is thinking it, you best believe Team AJ are thinking it as well. Oh yeah, look. Yeah, we'll just do that again. Team AJ think they've solved a massive puzzle, because they've learned how to jab and disengage. That's what they call boxing. They don't call boxing what Alvarez does. In the pocket, slipping, sliding, countering. Elusive. Big, hard, heavy 1 and 2 punch combinations. They call boxing jab and dance off. Jab, dance off. That's not boxing. That's scary. That's goofy. That's amateur 101.